I'm pretty fed up with humanity as of late. There's a movement called anti-natalism where people are saying, you know what, we need to stop having kids, period, as a species until we get some more of this shit figured out. And I'm seeing more and more of the wisdom in that because we don't need any more fucking people. Let me tell you, we don't need any more people. I have had like just a shit time the last 2 weeks, man. So I just briefly, right? And this is a rant. So if you want to hear specifically and only about narcissism, specifically the family, go watch one of the other videos. But okay, there's a girl that lives two doors down from me in my apartment complex, right? And one night I'm going out to go to a little local little bar, see a band, do something, run into some acquaintances, have a conversation, whatever. And I hear, get out, get out, get out. So I'm already on my way out. She opens her door. Her boyfriend comes, running out, or not running out, but he, storms out. He's pissed off. She's like, get the fuck out, get out, get out, get the fuck out. Looked like they had had a little tussle or something. And I know this girl, but I don't know this girl. Okay. I know her well enough that, you see her as you see neighbors. And she was very kind one time. I think she may have had a little interest in me for a spell. She went and she was like, she got me cat treats. I have a little cat, right? She got me cat treats. I saw her in the hallway, funnily enough, just, as an aside, I saw her in the hallway and I was like, hey, thanks for the treat. She's like, how'd you know it was me? I was like, come on, and we had a little chuckle. So, friendly banter back and forth. That's the extent of how I know her. That's it. Right? So he comes spilling out. He comes storming out. She's like, get the fuck out. And I just looked at him. I didn't say anything. This is a guilty conscience on display. When you look at someone and they get mad at you because you looked at them because they just did some dirt, right? So he looks at me like, you got a problem, papi? You got a problem? And mind you, he's like 5'4". He's like 5'4", 135 on his best day, right? I'm about 5'10", 174. Okay, so I'm just like, no, there's no problem here, man. I'm just making sure everybody's okay. This is my neighbor. I'm making sure everything's okay. Um, so he storms off and is like, I hope you don't have a problem. I'm like, yeah, get out my face. He storms off, goes down the stairwell. I'm not worried about him. I'm not thinking about him. Okay. And this is where I should have washed my hands of it and not gotten involved at all. Because I'll say this, okay? In terms of domestic disputes, okay, if it's between a man or a woman and a man, understand the party that is engaging in this, both parties are engaging in negativity. Because this shit doesn't just come out the blue, right? So what I needed to understand in that moment before getting myself further involved was that this dude would be back the next night. She would have him back the next night. This is how this works. This is why I will never get involved in anybody's domestic disputes. I don't care if I'm here and hollering and screaming. I will discreetly call the fucking cops from my apartment. I will not put my cape on. I will not, is everything all right? I'm not even going to open my fucking door. You shouldn't have let that motherfucker in. You shouldn't have chosen that motherfucker to date. I'm done. The S is now permanently off my chest. But I continued my involvement, and she had clothes in the dryer, and the dryer is all the way on the ground floor. Okay, our little laundry area is all the way on the ground floor, and he took the stairs. Right, he took the stairs, which was wild because we have an elevator, but that's how much he didn't want to get near me in that moment. Because despite me not doing anything other than saying, "Are you okay?" Right. So she's afraid of going down there, to get her clothes or just her blankets. So I said, look, I'll go down and get your blankets. What do they look like? I don't want to grab other people's stuff. And she's like, oh, it's a pink blanket. It's a this, it's a that. I said, okay, I'll go down there. She's like, he might be down there. I was like, I mean, he might be. I'm not terribly worried. I'm not the toughest motherfucker in the world, but I mean, you're the same height as my little sister. I'm not worried about it. So I went down there, got her blankets, brought it up to her, maybe grabbed a few things out the pad that I was intending to take with me initially. Left the pad, took the elevator down, went out. This guy's across the street at the liquor store. I don't give a fuck about him or really indeed her on that level. I don't give a fuck about these people. I don't break bread with these people. I see these people in passing. So I'm going through, admittedly, I had been in my cups a little bit, okay? But I was maintaining myself. I was in my cups. One of the things that, I do when I drink a little bit is I just kind of laugh at shit. I laugh at shit. I kind of get a little bit comical, not really mischievous, but comical, right? So I see this guy and I'm like, oh, this guy is going to stay and camp out in front of the liquor store. So I just giggled at that a little bit. And he saw me giggling, and he's like, oh, you got a problem, Papi? You got a problem? And I was like, oh, no, I don't have a problem. No, I don't have a problem. He was like, shake my hand then, shake my hand. Now, what you're not going to do is instruct me what to do with my body. You're not gonna tell me to stick my hand out and shake your hand so you can feel comfortable and confident to walk around and do whatever you do. And I just looked at him and giggled some more because, sometimes that Jack Daniels will make you laugh at a little motherfucker. And I laughed. I was just like, nah, I'm not shaking your hand. I don't have a problem with you. There's not going to be an issue, but I'm not shaking your hand, and I probably giggled as I was saying it, which, he didn't like that. And I turn my head for a split second, guy hits me with a two-piece, right? Never ever be drunk and try to talk to idiots. It's just not a good idea. I set myself up for failure in that situation. From the very start of me opening my door, okay, to try to help a girl who chose to date an idiot like this, was me setting myself up for fucking failure. He hits me with a two-piece, okay, I shake it off. It didn't really hurt. And I'm thinking, okay, I kind of want to just pick him up and body slam him on the fucking concrete, crack the back of that head a little bit, make him rethink his life choices. Then I think, you know what? You have a nursing license and there's a camera right there and you don't have a low IQ. No damage done. My eye hurt a little bit for a few days, but no damage done. I got no shiner out of it. I got nothing out of it. Plus, I had, the painkiller of alcohol in my veins. And I was just like, that's it. That's it. And mind you, this guy is like flexing. He's got his shirt off. I guess he was really waiting for me, kind of thing. And I just kind of laughed at him. And I was, I just was like, okay, whatever, dude, whatever, bro. Don't worry. I'm not fucking your girl. And I just said that. You got to say something. And his face was like, like that made him even madder. And I was like, well, I'm looking at you now, so do it again. Backed off, okay? All right? Long story short, I see him the next day, okay? He's back again because, again, never get involved in the disputes between men and women because the man will be back the next day, okay? So that's just my piece of advice. Don't put that S on your chest. Get that cape off your back. He will be back the next day and she will be on his side, and that is something that you can guarantee. You could stake your annual salary on it. Okay, you could bet your bottom dollar on it. Even if he's beaten the living crap out of her, even if he cheated on her, called her all kinds of bitches, went behind her back, did this, did that, stolen from her, he will be back that next night. So I see him in the hallway, and I'm not surprised to see him. And he was like, you know what, dude? I didn't want to do that, but you were in my business. I was like, I wasn't in anyone's business, but you know what? I shouldn't have gotten involved anyway. I don't have any feelings about you or her. Okay? So it's squashed. This is where I live. Okay? I don't want problems where I live. I like my apartment. Okay? I'm going to give you a pass, dog. I like my apartment. I shouldn't have gotten involved. It violates my own philosophy. And he was like, okay, Papi, I was like, you ain't got to say nothing else. I don't need anything. He's like, I feel bad for you. I was like, what you're not going to do is condescend to me. I don't fucking need anybody like you to feel bad for me. And that stopped him in his tracks. He's like, yeah, because, you're right. You don't need that. I was like, uh-huh. So he's like, so you want to shake now? I was like, I'll choose to shake your hand now. I won't be told to shake your hand, but I will choose to shake your hand, right? And we shook hands. To me, Water under the bridge, I've been hit before. It's not that emotional an issue for me. It's not something I'm going to remember on my deathbed when I'm 95. Like, oh, remember that time that guy cheap shotted you, on a Tuesday night? Not going to be thinking about that. I'm sure I'll have bigger fish to fry. I walk off. I think it's over, okay? We introduced ourselves, blah, blah, blah. I'm such and such. He's Luis, blah, blah, blah. Shake hands, okay? He goes his way. I go my way. Okay, I see him the next day in front of the same liquor store. I looked at him. He nodded at me. I gave him a quick nod. He went to say something. I just was like, I'm good, bro, and walked in. Because we're not buddies now. We're not friends. We're not going to sit down. We're not going to play pool. We're not going to have a beer together. We're not going to contemplate the facts of life. Okay? You punched me in the fucking face. And the only reason you didn't get punched back or worse is because I value my money over my machismo and bravado and, oh, niggas are looking at me do this. I don't care. I really don't care, right? I only care about my ability to make money to keep four walls around me and a roof on top of me, right? So I was like, what's up, man? But I don't really need all that. I don't really need all that. What's up is enough. I don't know why these guys want to have conflict with you and then they want to turn around and cuddle and shit and be best friends. That's not how this works. If you feel confident enough to punch somebody, feel good enough to not speak to them no more. You don't touch my body and then we're just gonna, hey, what's up, buddy? So, I blow him off and then I go in and I guess he was a little embarrassed because his little homeboys were there. I don't give a fuck. I don't care who's with you. I said what I said. And then the next day, I see him, I'm going into my apartment, and he, of course, is there with her again because, mind you, this dude doesn't live there. This dude is a hobosexual. And what a hobosexual is a guy who's a lame, so he fucks a girl, or he just relies on fucking a series of different girls to have a place to stay. He's a hobosexual. He's a bum. He's a loser. She's got her own place. He hangs out in front of a liquor store on a fucking Tuesday night. So that lets you know how good life is going. So of course I see him again. And he's like, what, all that bullshit you were talking? I'm like, what the fuck? He's like going off. He's holding her hand like, all that bullshit you were talking, you're gonna fuck my girl, fuck my mom, fuck my family. I was like, yeah, I made the comment about your girlfriend to be a smartass. I didn't say shit about your mom or your family. I'm thinking this. I'm not saying this because why would I explain myself to you? I'm sober and I'm looking at you right now, and there's a camera right there. I live here, you do not. I'm sure you have a criminal record. This will end bad for you because I'm going to stomp the fuck out of you and call the cops and tell them that I did it and get the fuck away with it because you're here attacking me. I'm going to let you swing first because you like to do that. You need to do that. But after that, it's going to be curtains because I've had bigger shits than this guy, right? So I'm not really worried about it. So he's going off, and I was like, shut up, bitch. And he shut up and got on the elevator. So I'm just like, what is this guy? Are you the tough guy? Are you the friendly guy? Are you the jealous guy? Are you the machismo guy? Are you Ike Turner? Are you from the Slapaho tribe? Like, who are you and what are you? I don't understand what this guy is. So I'm just like, what is this? And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Ain't gonna be too many more of these occurrences because this is where I lay my head at night. This is where I lay my head at night. You seem like a bum. You seem like trash. There's not gonna be too many more fucking occurrences of this. A week goes by. I don't see this guy for a week. When I do see him, right? Because we have a club that we go to in common, or a club he started to go to, but lo and behold, he has started shit with security, so they're now thinking of 86ing this guy. But I go to this club, and I was just having a conversation with the security guy in front because they're right next to that liquor store. It's a club right next to the liquor store, and apparently a couple people saw what happened. And I'm explaining to them, look, I didn't get involved in this guy's shit other than to help this girl get blankets. And I walked down. I was told to shake somebody's hand. I'm well past the age of 18, so you're not going to tell me what to do. You don't sign my check. You don't sign the front of my check. You don't tell me what to do. So I elected to not shake his hand, and for that reason, he cheap shotted me. So I just explained that he was hollering and screaming at this girl to the point to where people were coming out of their apartments wondering, is somebody being attacked? So I said that to them. I don't know why the security guard ran his mouth, but there's a lot of chatty Cathys in the world, even if they're full-grown men who are in their 60s. And so I see this guy, and he goes, hey, why'd you tell everybody in the club that I beat that girl up? Hey, why did you tell them? I'm gonna fuck you up again, papi. And I was like, what? He was like, come over here and talk to me or I'm gonna fuck you up again. And I was like, is that another order from you? Do you really think that you at 5'4", under 140 pounds, run anything? Do you think you run anything? I said, no, I got places to be. You want to come over here? You come over here, right? Because I know exactly where to stand, because we have a great big camera right next to our parking area. We got a big, beautiful camera I had a big, beautiful camera to the right of me. And to the direct left of me is a little cafe. We have a cafe at the base of our apartment complex. And I know exactly where the camera is on that. So you're going to come over here, right? And you're going to swing first. And it's going to be curtains for you, right? So I was like, no, you come over here. You come the fuck over here. He's like, yeah, because of this and that. And I was like, you know what? I'm a square. I'm a person with a job. I'm a guy with a job. I'm a fucking square. Let me do the square thing. And I was like, pulled my cell phone out. I was like, you know what? I've been assaulted. I've been threatened. I have never raised my hand to this man. I shook the man's hand. I gave him a pass. I could have been petty and subpoenaed the footage from the place that he fucking popped me at. Could have done that and cried about it. I let it go. Water under the bridge. Shouldn't have been fucking involved in shit. Shouldn't have been drunk and turned my head. Took it on the chin, on my part of it. So I was like, you know what, I'm done. Picked up the phone and stared at him. And I was like, come across the street. Because I'm making a phone call. And I called. And I gave the description. I called Johnny Law. Yes, I did. I narked. 1-800, I'm telling. I ain't got no shame about it. Not one bit of shame. Because that's the only thing these recidivistic assholes understand. And what I'm going to do as a person with a career and something to hold on to, what I'm going to do is the best for me. And with that, I'm just going to let the state handle you. I'm not going to get my hands dirty and have to explain it and possibly have to spend the night in jail until they go through the footage because it's mutual combat and blah, blah, blah. No. I have things to do. I have places to be. I'm calling the cops. So I called the fucking cops. He instantly shuts up. Puts his head down. Okay? I call the cops. I go inside to wait for them, right? And as I'm going in, I see the girl, and I was like, look, what's the name of your boyfriend? Not even hi, none of that. What's the name of your boyfriend? Because this girl is aware of everything that's happened, has never reached out to me to say, hey, thanks for getting my laundry. Hey, I'm sorry, I know this guy's crazy. That's what I would do if someone helped me in a situation that was volatile. So I don't really have any love for this bitch either. I was just like, you know what? What's your boyfriend's name? Luis what? And she's like, well, don't worry, I'm calling too because I have a restraining order on him and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, let's see it. I want all the particulars. I want to take a picture of this restraining order because if I have to walk into a station or do something different, I want that information. She gave it to me. I was like, great, bet. Now, I knew the cops would take forever. And I knew the guy had been pacified, or not pacified, but silenced when he saw that I was calling. So I knew it was no longer going to be an issue. So I went on ahead and I went out and did the shit I was going to go out and do anyway, right? Went and handled that shit, took care of that shit, had a great night, went by my friend's spot. There was another band playing. They were playing all these, covers, all these like Guns N' Roses covers. It was a great fucking night. It was a fun night, danced, laughed, had a good night. They were playing all these songs from like high school, time and shit. Not like, oh God, I know every word of it. It ended up being a fantastic fucking night. Before that, I called the cops and said, look, the guy walked off. There's no point. I don't have the particulars. If I need to make a statement, I'll walk into the LAPD office, headquarters, and do what I need to do, okay? But, outside of that, I'm going to let it go, right? So we're done with that. But that's just one piece. This is just one piece of the shitty fucking week I had. Then I go to another place, this little Irish pub. I go there because they've got the best fucking sliders in town. They've got great potato wedges, and I was hungry and I wanted to have something, have a beer, watch the game. I go in there and the bartender, Eddie, who I always talk to, ignores me. Ignores me from the moment I walk in to the moment I sit down, completely ignores me. And I realize it's because the last time I was in there, it was the day after dealing with this asshole who had popped me in the face. Okay, so it had been a little while since I had been in there. It was like the day after this guy had popped me in the face. I walked in, I was not in a talking mood. You get popped in the face, you're not really in a talking mood. I gave everybody the up and down, and that was about it. Maybe he felt the up and down wasn't sufficient. Maybe he felt that for some reason I should initiate contact when I'm the fucking customer walking through the fucking door. And you should be greeting me first of all. You do want to be tipped and all this. So he ignores me. I sit there in basically virtually an empty bar for 15 minutes looking at the guy. Like, what are you doing? The guys behind me, it was this party of like businessmen, 2-3 businessmen. They're sitting behind me, right? And he's bringing them extra ketchup and, oh, can we have a refill on iced tea? And then something. And I'm sitting there having not even been offered a water and a fucking coaster, looking at this guy. And I finally said, yo, Eddie, can I get a Bud Light, please, man? A Bud Light. The easiest drink. It's on tap. It's in the bottle. It's American piss water realness. My nose isn't too high to drink Bud Light. It tastes like beer. It's got hops and suds and it's cold. What else do you need? Give me a Bud Light, right? And he was like, okay, okay, and rolling his eyes like a high school girl and like rolling his neck and like all this shit, all full grown man, okay? Mind you, all these issues I've dealt with this week, full grown men who I suspect are over the age of 30. I know Eddie's probably 50 something. I know the chatty Cathy at the club who hyped this dude up again and said that I said shit that I did not say. He's in his 60s. So these are like full-grown, mature men who you would think would be masculine and logical and reasonable and think ahead. All full-grown men. The biggest chatty Cathys, the most bitter, grudge-holding little Nancys you've ever seen in your fucking life. So he's like, and he pours it. And, I pull out a 20. It's an $8 beer because this is Los Angeles and we're idiots and we pay these ridiculous prices rather than walking out and protest. So I put the 20 on the bar, excuse me. I set it there. It's waiting for him. He turns around. He gives me the beer. Okay, he goes to get my change. Now, one thing about me and one reason why he should have been kissing my ass from the moment I walked in there is I am an excellent tipper. So on an $8 drink, I tip $2. That is above 22%. That is exactly 25%. That is a great percentage for a tipper. And I don't normally just have one. So you're probably going to get a good amount of business out of me. So he hands me my $12 back, $8 out of a 20. He hands me my fucking $12 back. He's so used to getting that 25% tip. He sticks his hand out for the $2. I looked at him, opened up my coat pocket, and put my money back in because I carry my money in a roll. I'm kind of old school. Put my money back in. I don't use cards. I only, use cash. So I use a money roll. That's how I roll. That's how I do it. That's just the way I prefer to do things. He's flabbergasted that he doesn't get a tip, but he doesn't say anything. He's just like, right? Like a whipped dog, like a little boy, like a child who just, caught with his hand in the cookie fucking jar, right? Okay? So I drink the beer, okay? You're not getting fucking tipped. I don't know what the fuck I look like, or if I look like a dog, or if I look like I have a fucking tail, but you're not gonna fucking do abusive shit and rude shit and go out of your way to let me know, fuck you, I'm not serving you, and then get handed a 25% tip. I don't know who the fuck you think you are, right? I don't know. Is this reality? Am I, I don't think a beer would make me this delusional. This is reality, right? You're not getting a fucking tip. Fuck you. So I order another beer. Okay? He gives the beer to me for $6 rather than $8. Oh, what a kindness, right? It should have been $5. Really and realistically, I could go get a tall boy of Bud Light for $3. So what's the upcharge? Because you gave me a clean cup? Give me the fucking can. Give me the fucking can. You gave me a clean cup, which you as a business have to do legally anyway, okay, for health and safety. But I'm now paying $8, and you think you're giving me a fucking gift by charging me $6, right? So he charges me $6. I hand him a 10. Okay? He again gives me $4 back. Okay? Sticks his hand out again. I looked at him, cocked my head to the side, giggled, and once again opened up my jacket pocket, got my roll out, and put that in, big denominations on top, little denominations in the middle. That's the way I do it. What is wrong with full-grown men? Like, what happened? What happened to like an older guy being like seasoned and well-balanced emotionally and able to see the writing on the wall and, cost-benefit analysis? And what happened to that? What happened to having a fight with a dude and then see him the next day and being like, it's over? What happened? You popped me. You hit me with a 2-piece. To his credit, he's real fast. You got me, right? You got me. The guy with his arms down to his side who said nothing to you other than laughing in your face and then saying, no, I don't really fuck with you. I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to cuddle with you. We had a fight. Or rather, you fucking sucker punched me. You sucker punched a drunk guy. No, we're not going to be, pen pals now. We're not going to skip down the yellow brick road together hand in hand. Okay, what happened to guys? What happened to that shit? This is the reason I don't like to even leave my apartment. I like to go to work. You know why? Because I get something out of work. It's called a paycheck, and I do enjoy talking to my patients, and I do enjoy providing them with value. But there is very little incentive for me to go outside because I'm surrounded by people who have no control over their emotions. You slide a guy, right? If you slide a guy, he could be 45, 50 years old. He will act like a 16-year-old girl. I promise you. I promise you. And it's never these weak, wafy guys that, people stereotype the woke left. The woke left, all the men are feminine and all the blah, blah, blah on the woke left. And they don't understand masculinity. And you know what? They actually seem a little bit more even-keeled in some situations. All these muscle-bound dudes, they run around with the shaved heads and they wear the tight fucking muscle shirts and they, they carry themselves a certain way, you know what I'm saying? And they got all that. They have no command over their emotions. If I didn't have command over my emotions and this guy hit me with a 2-piece, I'd be in the street hollering, "Oh, you did this, man." I would have beat him up when I saw him in my fucking hallway. Okay? I would have said, I know exactly where you be at. I know this area better than you do because you don't really live here. You come here to live off a woman. I'm going to run up on you when you least expect it and do some fucking shady shit the way you did it. If I had no control over my emotions, I would do that. If I had no control over my emotions when this idiot stuck his hand out to get a tip after giving me abysmal fucking service, matter of fact, actually not giving me service, ignoring the fuck out of me because he was in his little feelings, right? If I was in my feelings and I was out of control and I could not, control my impulses, right? I would have picked my stool up and threw it at him. Like, how dare you treat me like I'm some slave, like I'm some sort of fucking pay pig, and I'm gonna give you fucking money for being a fucking cock to me. What do I look like? Is my name Lassie? I look like a fucking slave to you? I look like, what is this? I don't know. This is why I'm really seeing the benefit of being a hermit, staying inside. You save money, you save time, save aggravation. You avoid these idiots. They're everywhere. It's a goddamn shame. Yeah, just a rant, just something to share. Yeah, have a good day.